poppin', everybody? I guess we have to talk about today's game. Not just this was a loss. Denver Broncos, a place in Denver, is a place that the Packers, for some reason, just cannot win. That is a place that we have struggled in for as long as you can live. You just gave, and honestly, everything that could go wrong in a game happened. But this wasn't just a loss. This was basically what you'd like to say might be considered season ending. The Super Bowl chances were basically thrown out the window today. I know that there's a lot to be said, and there were some chances that they had, but truthfully, nobody even punted in this game. I think each team only punted like once today. I don't even... It was just disastrously. As soon as it happened, it was done. We knew it was over. You underestimated yourself, and you actually had this game. You really had the lead, and you just let it slip away like that. And it's just because of one thing that happens. I can't even commend how I feel knowing that this game basically just showed everything that is exactly wrong with this organization in one game. The final score is 34-26. Denver obviously now has the best record. They have the best record in the entire NFL. 11 wins in a row. They're 12-2. They haven't even lost a home game. The Packers now dropped to 9-4-1. With the Bears winning today, they drop now back to the 7th seed. You know, I know they do have an advantage because the Detroit Lions did also lose today. But it's going to make it harder because, again, now you got to go into... Now, you watched last week and everybody said we should have lost that last game last week, and I agree. Now you got to go into Chicago. There's no momentum anymore. I don't think this was even a trap game. I don't think this was even remotely... You faced a team, and I said this was the most overrated... I thought this was the most overrated team ever. And because I said their offense is garbage. And Bo Nix just came out and flat-handedly destroyed our defense. Even with Parsons and without Parsons, nothing even changed. 23-34, 302 yards and 4 touchdowns. I guess it's a good thing I started him on fantasy this week, but whatever. I don't even care. RJ Harvey, 19 carries, 65 yards, and it's in a touchdown. And then Cortland Sutton, 7 catches, 113 yards and a touchdown, 6 for 85 and a touchdown for Franklin, 3 for 42 and a touchdown for Jordan Humphrey. Michael Bandy had a catch. It was the other touchdown for 20 yards. Marvin Mims, 2 for 29. A catch for 12 for Evan Ingram. They went for a bunch of times. We only committed 1 turnover in this game, which was, I believe, a forced fumble. I can't remember who forced it, but whatever. It didn't matter. Jordan Love got absolutely demolished. This was the first time he actually looked like he couldn't even do anything. Like, he struggled even under the pressure. Greenlaw and Singleton led the way with 8 tackles. A sack and a half for Jonathan Cooper and Chris Allen. A sack for Jaquan McMillan and Jonah Ellis. Pat Surtain with the interception that basically changed the trajectory of the game. And Riley Moss with the other one because Dontavian Wicks doesn't even know how to catch a ball. That's the Denver statistics. For the Packers statistics, 24 for 40, 276 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Josh Jacobs pretty much was the offensive MVP of today's game. 12 carries for 73 yards, a touchdown on the ground, and 2 catches for 19, including a Moss-like type play. That was a touchdown. Golden and Reed led the way. 3 catches for 55 for Golden, 5 for 55 for Reed, 4 for 52 for Musgrave, 2 for 26 for Dobbs, 3 for 29 for Watson before his eventual exit, and 3 for 18 for Fitzpatrick. Quay Walker led the way with 9 tackles. Xavier McKinney and Edgerrin Cooper both had 8. Not many tackles for loss. Brandon McManus was 4 for 4 from field goals. That was pretty much the Packers' stats. But the injuries in this game were so significant. Everybody just kept leaving the game with injuries. Quay Walker did eventually come back, but you lost Zach Tom. His injury might be season-ending too, but no one's even talking about it. Christian Watson also got injured again. The guy is made out of glass bones. Hopefully it's nothing significant, but if it's a collarbone break or something I think it's an AC joint sprain, but I don't think it's going to make a difference. And then, of course, the big one, and then, of course, Evan Williams went out later. And then finally, you have Micah Parsons. You already saw Patrick Mahomes go down and tear his ACL, and the Chiefs missed the playoffs. That was a brutal way to end the Chiefs season. That was brutal. Mahomes probably wouldn't have played the rest of the season even if it wasn't a torn ACL. I thought he was okay, but then they did confirm it. So then pretty much once I saw it happen to Parsons, you just knew that was it. Without Parsons, your defense has done some great things. You had the pressure, but when Parsons is not in there, your defense can't do anything. Our secondary is absolute garbage other than Xavier McKinney. Our corners suck. Everything about them sucks. They couldn't even defend anybody. There's some good... You had some people, but goodness gracious, this has been a brutal season of injuries. If we were fully healthy, there would have been a chance that make me say, man, but without Parsons, you're not winning the Super Bowl. You lost Reggie White. If you don't have Reggie White, you're not going to win. And Jordan Love, obviously this is a great defense. We all know that. And, but Love just couldn't even do it. And God help me, I can't even commend myself on how bad of a coach Matt LaFleur actually is. There is nothing that even remotely makes me sick. And you wasted it. You wasted your future. You have nothing. Who knows if he'll even be ready for the start of next year? Because, of course, this is December. Parsons might not even be ready until middle of the season next year, depending on the recovery process. I know things are moving quicker, but again, Parsons is a tough guy, and I've seen people come back quicker in injuries, and whatever the case may be, it's crazy. I know you're going to be without these guys for as long as it is. But going on, the Super Bowl, yes, the playoffs aren't over. You still got 3 more games left. If you win 2 or 3, you're going to make the postseason, and that'd be great to see. But your aspirations are gone because you don't even have a first-round draft pick for the next 2 years. You need a corner so bad because Mixon, Valentine, and Hobbs can't cover anybody. Xavier McKinney was out there doing everything in the defense. And I was actually kind of saying, where's McKinney been all season? McKinney actually is one of the best safeties in the NFL. He shows it right there, that he was all over plays. But again, you can't rely on certain players to do everything for you. Parsons is done. Now the defense is going to probably look bad. And if the defense continues to look bad, then most likely Hafley will not leave the Packers, which honestly is good because everybody's saying, oh, Hafley's going to leave. That whole conversation is done for. We don't even need to talk about it. I think at this point, you know what? You take the game one game at a time, and everyone's going to say, oh, you're saying no. But your Super Bowl aspirations are pretty much out the door. You lost not just that, you're basically back in the 7th seed now. Chicago's back in front, and you got to play them again. If they win again, if Chicago wins again, or wins this time, then you're in trouble. And that's that. And then you got a home game against Baltimore, and then hopefully if they win the next 2 games, a meaningless game in Minnesota. But what does it matter? What does it even matter? This season's a waste. And possibly the start of next season's a waste too. There is nothing that you can even make me say, that I'm optimistic because I always look forward to the draft and who we can go for after. We're not even going to have a first-round pick for 2 years, guys. This is just terrible. This has got to be absolutely one of the worst things to ever happen. We did not just lose today's game, we lost the season. It's done. Regardless of what happens, even if we make the playoffs or not, you're not winning the Super Bowl unless you have Micah Parsons on your team. And that's final. So, I just wish nobody... We lost Wyatt, who became a significant piece. We lost Tucker Kraft. We can't keep Watson healthy. If we were a healthy team, we'd be a contender. But seeing the struggles and how fraudulent LaFleur can be, there's nothing that's going to make me say anything that makes me think we have a chance in the future. It is done. Everything is done. And then, of course, what do I got to look forward to? The Bucks. And they're obviously going to be trading Giannis sometime soon. So what do I care? What do I care? It's over. All the fun, happy times are done. It's done. All right, I'm done. I can't even make the video. I'm done with this. Goodbye.